This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on Infinity Isle. It is going to be as the Red Empire, none other than DasDuelon, and as the Cyan allies on the right side, it is going to be none other than AngelWings, who is, I believe, on the clan YZZD, and it does look like going to be dog first, which means that those timings are absolutely perfect, and actually going for power plant before dual ref. Some players, they don't go for power plant. Actually, no, that power plant might just be to scare off dogs, crush infantry, and that sort of thing. Instead of going triple barracks, he actually went double barracks and then a power plant, and immediately following it up with an expand. Why is that interesting? Well, there's no walls, which means he's not wasting time or money on those walls, which are, I mean, walls aren't going to do anything against Vindicators anyways, while on the other hand, it is going to be AngelWings getting a good scout off, getting those engineers out, and actually not applying any pressure at all. A lot of times you'll see Allies players push forward with those Peacekeepers, try and do some damage. DasDuelon going to be grabbing his own oil derrick, and then look at this, he's going to be looking to actually secure the oil derrick of his opponent, so a good move there, while the full scout off from actually 2 dogs from AngelWings will be absolutely checking out DasDuelon and seeing everything that is going on there. So right away, both of these players, interesting play from them, a little bit more standard by AngelWings, but AngelWings now going to be putting some pressure on DasDuelon just a little bit, while Das will be getting a little bit of the scout off and also not doing any damage, but slowing down that harvester just a little bit. And now that power plant can now deploy, and DasDuelon is ready to power 3 refineries basically right out of the gate because he didn't lose that power plant. But there has actually been an engagement in this game. Both of these players, neither one of them really pushing forward with that early infantry, but both of them do have a little bit of an infantry force. AngelWings definitely does have a stronger infantry force than DasDuelon, at least at this point. However, the Mecha Bay going down on the low ground, an interesting choice. A lot of times players do is just go ahead and deploy them on that ridge, gets you onto the front line a little bit faster, makes it easier to reinforce your front line as well. But the dog going to be coming back in possibly for a scout, while AngelWings still hasn't expanded, going to be dropping down that airfield, quite a delayed airfield. AngelWings did go for dual Riptide out of that naval yard before going airfield, and now going to be expanding up to that center ridge, deciding not to expand to the water first, which, you know, not a huge deal there, but is going to be actually dual pressuring, and this will be spotted by a burst drone. DasDuelon might actually be able to tag on to that burst drone if he spots it. No, he will not actually be able to. Turning it around right there, and will maybe actually be able to tag on to that Riptide. It's not a huge deal, it just slows down the Riptide, makes it a little bit easier to kill. And as you can see on the minimap, most likely, yeah, DasDuelon going to be splitting his forces to deal with this attack. He's got infantry on the front line, even a tank buster mixed in for good measure, but the Vindicator going to be hovering overhead. Won't be able to do a whole lot of damage, might actually be better just to go for one of the buildings. However, DasDuelon going to be rushing in here, cleaning up a lot of those Peacekeepers, but ultimately just the power out of AngelWings is too much. However, AngelWings not microwing properly, letting that tank buster survive and do lots of damage, while the Javelin Trooper actually does get run over by the ore collector there. And actually, let's go ahead and turn health bars on. However, it does look like DasDuelon will not be losing that refinery just yet. On the other hand, we might actually be able to take down that harvest, or that Riptide. Well, no, the harvester for DasDuelon actually will get 3 kills there, and actually another kill for that Imperial Warrior will happen. However, once inside of that building, that Peacekeeper will be relatively safe. Going to have to wait for another 20 seconds before switching into that into the Bonsai Charge again. However, Dual Apollo will clean up all of the Tengus, so YZZD, or AngelWings, not putting on a lot of pressure initially, but right now going to be putting the hurt on DasDuelon with dual Apollo and dual Vindicator as well. And those walls go down, trying to protect against the Riptides, but hey, guess what? Turns out that Vindicators are actually pretty darn good and may actually do the splash damage to that building, which, well, for DasDuelon, not a huge deal, but not a good place to be in either. And look at that, AngelWings trying to use all of their units to the most effectively, I guess, would be a better way to put that. However, Tengus, are they going to be trying to engage? Yes, or maybe actually they're going to be trying to bait the Apollos into that Chopper VX. Striker VX will not be able to take down those Apollos just yet. However, good harassment out of AngelWings, while I cannot say the same for DasDuelon. Armor facility does go down. Das hasn't actually done any damage to the economy of his opponent, and he's actually been taking a fair amount of damage, so we'll be expecting to see him dealing some damage if he wants to stay in this game or even remain with any sort of a chance. and AngelWings going to be taking down one Imperial Warrior for DasDuelon, and of course with Peacekeepers you want to put as much range between yourself and them as you can. Going to be actually transforming at just the right time, but is all for naught as the Apollo rolls up and just takes down that Chopper VX, and the Striker VX will claim the life of that Apollo and avenge his brethren. However, the IFV is going to be rolling in for DasDuelon, and will it actually be able to do anything? I don't know if this is a good move. Actually, it's just fine of a move because there's nothing here to actually do the damage to that IFV. Just now that Tengu rolling out, but hey, IFVs don't do too poorly versus those Tengus. However, a couple of Tank Busters will be able to take that down, no problem. And actually, IFV in combination with that Cryo Shot will lock down another Harvester. So DasDuelon taking a lot of Harvester damage, and YZZ and AngelWings just doing way too much damage with these Apollos. And also, oh, Tank Busters, no, Das, what are you doing? A huge micro mistake out of Das right here. He's just not hitting that F key to switch those over. I'm not sure where he's looking at this point, but he was not paying attention to those Tank Busters. Just now going to be switching one of them over. However, one Apollo may actually be sacrificed there, as the Vindicators do go for that Tengu and take it out, while the other Tengu may actually get taken out here by a combination of the Striker VX. It will go down right there. And Vindicator's not the cheapest unit, however, it's still not nearly as expensive as losing all of those units and Harvesters. For DasDuelon, he's had to rebuild those, which has 1,400 credits each time you want to rebuild one of those. And claiming a couple of Javelin Trooper kills would be a good move for Das, and not actually having the control with these poor pathing of the Sage engine, not being able to run over that Imperial Warrior, but eventually it will be shot down, claiming 2 Javelin Troopers. So DasDuelon winning a very small victory in that space. But more Guardian tanks going to be pumped out, and with those 3 refineries, I don't think you can quite constantly produce Guardian tanks, but it's a pretty close 3 refineries and an ore collector. You can pretty darn close produce constant Guardian tanks, which is absolutely fearsome after a minute or 2 of being able to produce Guardians like that, because you will have a force to reckon with. Mixing in some infantry, not a bad move by YZZD, trying to produce, or by AngelWings, I don't know why I keep saying the clan name, but trying to produce just a balanced diet, or rather a well-balanced army that'll be able to deal with whatever Das is going to be throwing at them. But for the most part, this game has been relatively one-sided. Das with some solid control in places and letting it falter other places. This engagement will be a deciding factor in this game. And look at that, AngelWings trying to do damage to the Harvester while engaging this army, but Das isn't necessarily controlling the best. Will be losing a couple of Tank Busters. Rushing in here, needs to take care of those Javelin Troopers, and he will be able to run them both over right there. Going to be throwing away possibly another Apollo. Not a good move. Possibly losing a second Apollo, but not a huge deal. You need to take care of the Guardian tanks inside of your base. Nothing's going to be swinging around the sides of the map, and a Cryo Shot for a single Imperial Warrior. Not sure if that was worth it, but hey, I guess why not? And Das will be able to throw down walls enough. No, I guess he will not actually be able to. Might be able to close up the gaps, but no, he will not be able to do that either. So what can he actually do versus all this power and all of these forces from AngelWings? Well, he can counter with a Chopper VX, which will be able to claim one more kill before getting taken out by the Apollo, and no actual Chopper VX is on the ground. Will he be able to transform in time? Yes, he will, and may actually get the Apollo kill as well, which could vet that Apollo. Yeah, and it will vet that Striker VX again. Oh, the Vindicator may go down as well, but with so many Guardian tanks rolling up, it will come down to the control of that single Chopper VX. Needs to transform it absolutely and hit the F key, and oh, he will be able to do damage to these Guardian tanks. Taking out one, needs to go for the veteran one and make sure he's focusing down all of the Guardian tanks, while he doesn't actually have a whole lot else to deal with this army other than just a couple of units here. So can he control it correctly? And it might just be better for AngelWings to just push in here and focus down these units, not focus down the buildings in this particular situation. Needs to make sure that he's killing all of the units that he can, while the Vindicator will swoop in here, not actually going to be able to do a whole lot there. And it is single Guardian, or the single Tsunami tank, going to be able to clean out pretty much everything, but those veteran units can be kind of hard to kill and not going to be able to take out that Striker VX. And a Tank Buster cleaning out almost everything for AngelWings. What do they actually have to deal with this defense out of Das? I mean, he's protected himself, but has he done anything more than just elongate his defeat? I'm not sure exactly how to word that, but just I can't actually think of the words right now, so a huge fail on my fault, and on my part, not on my fault. but he is going to be using those assault drones. What are they actually called? Point defense drones. Everything is actually just falling out of my head right now. I think I just leaked brain from my ears. That's how bad I'm doing right now. However, another Vindicator going to be produced. And an interesting point, we haven't seen any cryocopters, which cryocopters, such a staple of the Imperial, of the Allied army, going to be locking down. Oh, might actually go for the refinery, would be the better kill in this situation. Might as well split up the bombs, kill both of them, just to make sure that Harvester can't be of any more use. And oh, the Vindicator does get taken out. The long range, I guess, of that Striker VX will allow that Vindicator to get taken out while re-macroing up and trying to, once again, just splitting up the forces and getting a nice diverse unit composition. Guardian tanks mixed in, IFVs, Javelin Troopers, Peacekeepers, even a Riptide in the back, going to be swinging around the bottom side of the map. Do they actually have any Javelin Troopers in them? I'm not entirely sure, but reproducing that refinery will not be good for DAS. However, selling off his MCV, might actually want to go ahead and just get out man, wow, this is absolutely awful. Going to be engaging with a couple of units. Taking down the oil derrick is never a bad situation. I mean, might as well take them down. That's just taking away more income for your player, and suddenly all of these buildings are absolutely vital to DAS. But oh, where are the Apollos? Where are the Apollos? Are they actually on the field? No, there's actually nothing to save these Riptides from being completely cleaned out. So those are effectively wasted credits and just more money in DAS's pocket in terms of how much damage he's done, which he needs all the money he can get. Can he micro his tsunami tanks well enough to take out all of his infantry army? Because if he is able to, then his tank busters should be able to clean out the Guardian tanks. But oh, the IFVs are absolutely no match to these dual chopper VXs, and might actually be able to take out a Guardian tank before the IFVs can do anything. Needs to focus down the IFVs, and oh, will the tanks be good enough to run over everything? Not actually, but the Guardian tanks won't be able to clean up enough of the tank busters fast enough, and the chopper VX will be able to take down that IFV, and now it's going to be basically infantry wars. But it turns out tanks are pretty good at just running over absolutely everything, and suddenly DasDuelon has transformed his position into not being in so bad of a position. Where is that engineer? It's over here. It may actually get a capture of something. That would be kind of hilarious. The Prospector will most likely be brought off the line to deal with it. But suddenly DasDuelon is no longer in an absolutely awful position. He's been losing Harvesters, and AngelWings has been doing as much damage as they can almost. They've been hitting Harvesters and hitting all sorts of harassment and refinery, and no, that engineer sadly will not get a cap for DasDuelon, but AngelWings is going to be absolutely fine with that. And yeah, no cryocopters. It's just interesting not to see that upgrade to get purchased for the airfield at some point. I guess it's just slightly out of range there, but going to be losing a couple of Javelin Troopers, never a good situation to be in. However, Chopper VXs on the high ground might be able to actually snipe the Harvester. Wouldn't be surprised if they were able to take out the refinery, just because there's not a whole lot of anti-air out for AngelWings, and might actually not get the freeze. Will most likely get the freeze of the Harvester, but also more importantly, that Cryogeddon will be able to freeze down that, and is going to take out both the refinery and the Harvester, but going hit for hit. Oh no, going for the MCV. So he says, I lost my MCV by selling it off, so I am going to take out your MCV. And actually, no, AngelWings has literally nothing to deal with this. Almost no anti-air anywhere on the army. It is going to be just a single Javelin Trooper joined by a second Javelin Trooper, but the micro is going to be pretty good out of DasDuelon. He will be able to escape with at least, I'm assuming, that Chopper VX, which is fully heroic, needs to get out of their DAS. Just stop shooting the buildings and get out of their DAS. And suddenly DasDuelon is in a strong position. AngelWing not actually reacting enough, and I'd have to say the critical mistake, not building Apollos. And suddenly these players are on effectively even footing, except this is a very scary army out of DasDuelon, especially this single Chopper VX having almost no competition, and will be able to claim the life of that Vindicator basically for free, getting a couple of kills off with that, and he was able to take out the refinery. But this is going to be the final engagement of this game most likely, and that is it. AngelWings had no way to deal with that army from DasDuelon, losing all of the infantry and almost one single move of those tsunami tanks, and with those nanomachines, it just makes them that much more durable. Let's take a look at that resource graph. As you can see, that harassment out of AngelWings was almost on spot the entire time, almost completely top hole spot on, top what, all that good stuff. But I don't actually know what that was. That was probably the worst string of words I've ever had in my life. A total of 10,000 credits of difference over a 14-minute game. And actually, AngelWings wasn't that far ahead in the economy, but doing so much harassment in the end. A couple of clutch moments there for DasDuelon, and then the lack of follow-up by AngelWings. Follow-up is, of course, a very important thing. If you've got a great opener, you've got to follow it up with a strong mid-game, and in this case, if your enemy has some heavy aircraft, you need to get some Apollos to deal with it, absolutely, and it's hard to deal with those Chopper VXs just because of the transforming attributes, but that will do it for this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I also hope you enjoyed the new starboard, but this is Sybert signing out.